Hi, everyone. I'm Connie Zabo-Schmucker, Advocacy Director for Bicycle Garage Indy. Thanks for joining us on Spotlight on Bicycling. And I'm joined by Renee Gates from Central Indiana Bicycling Association, better known as CIBA, as well as the NITE Ride, and Mark Bettinger with the Hilly 100. And they're going to talk about CIBA, the Hilly, and NITE Ride. So um, just a couple of things. This is being recorded and will be up on Bicycle Garage Indy's website and be shared on Facebook and social media and Bicycle Garage Indy's newsletter. So hopefully you'll be able to find it. And future spotlight programs will be on BGI website page devoted to Spotlight on Bicycling, where you can find this one and recordings of previous Spotlight on Bicycling. So without further ado, I will go ahead and turn this over a little bit to Renee. So Renee, what can you tell me about CIBA if I've never heard about CIBA before?
Well, thank you, Connie, for the invite to participate on your podcast. I think we were here at this same location, look, via Zoom, just last year talking about the NITE Ride. So thank you for the invite to talk about CIBA and the NITE Ride and Hilly 100. But what I can say about CIBA provides opportunities for cyclists of all ages and ability to ride their bicycle in safe and friendly and well-organized rides. So that's primarily our goal, is to make sure that we provide rides for all cyclists of all ages and ability.
So what types of rides does CIBA have? What types of group rides?
So CIBA has a lot of rides. We have our signature ride, of course, NITE Ride and Hilly 100. We also have weekly weekend rides. We have rides with the tandem called Hoots, and it's
Hooters
Hoosiers
on tandem.
out on tandems. Yes. So we have a variety of rides. So they are led by some of our CIBA members, and they just meet up and ride.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah. If I remember, don't they typically provide some basic SAG service and some food at a couple of rest stops during the ride?
Yes, they do. So that's a part of the leaders' things that they implement on their ride, is if they want to stop at the end at different locations to grab a bite to eat, or depending on how long the ride is, they will have a SAG stop and provide bananas or whatever they want to provide at the SAG stop. So yeah.
Yeah, the routes themselves also a lot of times are marked with what are called Dan Henrys, but nobody really knows what a Dan Henry is. Basically it's a circle with a hash mark that tells you which direction when you come
Oh
to the
yeah.
intersection. Um, it, Fun fact, they are named after an actual person called Dan Henry, and he started marking rides, and they used to call them Dan Henrys or Dan Henry's marks, and that's where that name comes from.
Okay.
But
Well,
yeah,
I know a lot of our rides are on Ride GPS, and so we don't need the Dan Henry to for our rides now. So that's kind of come in handy for those who, you know, ride.
Yeah. Now, aren't there also some food related rides in the past? Haven't they had like a dinner ride or a breakfast ride?
Yes. And so that's up to the leader of the ride and what they want to do. So there are dinner rides, there are rides, like I said before, that have a sack stop that provide um, food at that point. So um, I don't want to misspeak, so I won't quote on the names of those rides, but there are several rides that have a food component to it.
Yeah, I think in the past they have picked a location like a pizza place or something where you ride two-thirds of the mileage, have a meal, and then finish the ride afterwards. So generally a little more relaxed ride.
Yeah, I think that's how I met Connie when I first started riding. Was we rode from the BGI out north, and then at the end we went to, I think it was either Panera or McAllister's, and we ate at, after our ride. So that was fun, and we knew where we were going to ride. We knew what day, and no one was left behind. So when I started, I was always in the back, in the back of the group, and someone always was, stayed back with me and made sure I caught up with the group. So I appreciated that. So if you're a beginner ride, don't be intimidated by the fast riders. There's always someone that is willing to stay behind and make sure that you stay with the group. And so I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, the other ride that my husband and I lead a lot are grand touring rides. I don't know that we're going to do any yet this year,
Okay.
but there are some. My husband is the grand touring ride leader chair, and so there have been some grand touring rides. It's a little harder right now. The reason why we're hesitating personally to do grand touring rides is because the locations that we would stop at, especially our rides out of Columbus, aren't open during when we have the ride. And so there are no services out in hinterlands of Brown County and Bartholomew.
Oh, okay.
So there's no place to stop and get something to eat or use a restroom or anything. It's
Oh,
great riding, but there's no services literally.
Mhm.
right.
So we're trying to figure that out. But so grand touring rides usually start somewhere outside of the Indianapolis area, and sometimes they're in conjunction with a festival, or they usually have food, stop somewhere afterwards
Mhm.
and stop along the way as well. So there are still, one of the things that CIBA also has, you mentioned Ride with GPS, there's a huge library of CIBA rides on Ride with GPS. And if you're a
Mhm.
member, you get free access to all of that. So that's a really good member perk
Yes.
to have access to all of these different rides. So even if you can't make one of the scheduled rides, you could, ride on your own or get some group of friends and go and ride.
Yeah, I know with Ride GPS, we do have incentives as well that we put out there, waiting to get those confirmed. But I know last year there was an incentive to ride 500 miles in May.
Mhm.
And with that, you received a jersey. And I think second place was maybe a t-shirt, and then it went to percentages off different things. But yeah, that is a great perk, and there are incentives to being a CIBA member and on Ride GPS.
Yeah, I believe the 500 miles in May, anybody who rides either 500 miles or 500 kilometers in May can get a 500 miles in May jersey.
Oh, that's
You can,
okay.
yeah. But I think
Thanks for
also,
clarifying that.
yeah, but they're training rides in many evenings of the week where people can, read the description. Some of them are a little bit faster, but there are a number, led, for example, by Carol Terry and others, where the goal, or Jay Hardcastle, where the goal is to ride at a comfortable pace and to actually talk with each other and make it a social ride. So
Right.
you can check out the evening ride schedules for the training rides, just to get out miles with friends, with other riders.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are there any plans uh, that CIBA has? I know they probably just had your annual meeting. Are there any grand plans for 2023 that are different than before, or things that you might want to highlight?
We're confirming our grand plan, but I do know that Hoosiers out on tandems, I guess we're all doing our annual, like Night Ride is our 30th annual. So everybody's having these major milestones. So that's our grand thing, is making our milestone events, adding more to what you would, normally get. So we're trying to make it very nice events and memorable events this year.
See,
Awesome.
what about the swap meet?
Yeah, the swap meet is this weekend. So it's at
Yeah,
Ham.
unfortunately, this is going to be aired after the swap meet.
Yeah, that's right. So
So for next year, look, if you have stuff
yes.
that you want to get rid of, CIBA has a swap meet usually in February around Valentine's Day. So just keep that in mind for future years.
Oh, and keep in mind that if you're a member, you get to secure your table and spot first before it's open to the general
Yeah, and
population of riders. So
that is
that's a perk
definitely,
as well.
yeah, definitely a perk because the tables sold out in
Yes.
2023. So,
And it is one of it's one of the largest swap meets for cyclists in the Midwest. So it's a fairly good sized event.
Yeah. So I'll be there working setup and registration, even though this is going to air after the fact. But
yeah, that's all right. People can plan for next year.
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, there's also there's a picnic ride that CIBA generally has in the summer. So where CIBA provides the meet and everybody does a pitch in and people come and ride. I think this last year it was in September because the date that they were planning on was one of those torrential, horrible weather thing, and
Yeah.
so they said, no, we're not doing a ride, not
It
doing a
was,
picnic ride.
yeah, it was postponed a couple of times, and I worked one of the rest stops, and so I had a blast. And then at the end, when everybody, gets together to eat, it's just fun hearing the stories of the longtime CIBA members, and it's a great time. So if check the calendar if you're available. Love to see you out there this year.
All right, so we will move on now to the Hilly 100. So the Hilly 100 is a long-running event. Do you know what year it started, Mark?
I would have to do the math for that, but this year will be the 55th Hilly 100 weekend. And we can say it's both the 55th weekend and the 55th annual because unfortunately in 2020 we had to cancel the event.
Right.
So if you do the math, that puts us back in the 70s at some point. And it has always been down in the Bloomington area, Bloomington, Indiana, about an hour southwest of Indianapolis. The last few years, it has been in a small community called Ellettsville. So It's gotten quite a following over the years. Attendance has gone up and down over the years. Right now, we're probably about 1,600 to 1,800 people, and we're trying to grow that. I'm not sure if I can show a couple of pictures here or not.
You should be able to. So at the bottom, there's a share screen.
Right.
Yep,
How's that?
looks like it's working. Yeah.
Great. So
Awesome.
that's the view from the Edgewood High School there, and we actually have an arrangement with the local high school there where we put on the event. They provide the venue. Uh, they've got an elementary, junior high, high school there, and we make use of their facilities. And as part of what the Hilly does in return, besides renting the event, the spaces, there is a scholarship fund that we provide. Plus, we provide income for for the band boosters, for the basketball team, etc. That's part of the Hilly's commitment is that part of your registration fee goes to supporting those events. In addition to that, we also donate to the Bicycle Indiana and the CIBA Foundation. And CIBA Foundation in particular provides grants. Let's go back there. Provides grants to bicycle related activities around the state. And that could be yet another intro to cycling here in Indiana that you may have already done at one point or may yet do again, Connie. So there's the start finish. People often have a couple of questions. Yes, it's called the Hilly 100 because it's really quite hilly. There are hillier rides, but it can be a challenge, but it's doable. With a little training, anybody can do that. And if you're worried about, oh my gosh, how am I going to ride 50 miles each day? Well, first thing, you don't have to ride it all at once. We've got 3 stops each day so that you can actually ride for 10 miles, stop, rest, ride a few more miles. And, this is one of the rest stops there, the edge of where people are leaving, and you can see where people set their bikes to the side. And let's see, in fact, there are a few more bikes. Hey, that's part of the point. Other people out there riding and enjoy it. Schwann's Ice Cream. Last year we moved to Schwann's Ice Cream when you return on Saturday, but it will still be out there at lunch on Sunday. And yes, we are back to providing lunch both days. So you can stop and, at the second stop each day, you can have some fried chicken with the ice cream on Sunday. So, and of course your normal fruits and whatnot, and music. We have live music at most of the stops each year, so you can sit back and relax. It's not just sitting there, and we've had a very good response to those. SAGs, charging state. The last item on there, Switchyard Brewery. They actually do the last stop on Saturday. It's not free. You do have to pay for your beer. Sorry about that. But they also provide a DJ. And last year they were a smashing success. Everybody loved them. Mm-hmm. So, and if you look at our website, I'm sorry I don't have the link there, but it mentions that we have charging stations in Bicycle Security for your devices, for your bikes. And I know some people will say, well, are we even allowed to ride an e-bike there? And it's like, yeah, as long as you have to pedal to help it, we'll be glad to have you down there. The point is we want everyone out there enjoying the roads. And in fact, this picture here that's being shown, I believe Connie may be familiar with it. I believe she submitted it to the photo contest one year.
That I don't think so, but thanks for the
one of these is probably yours.
Yeah, but, There I have submitted over the years, many years, the photos to the photo contest. So
and there is a cash award for the winner and merchandise. We do have essentially you get credit towards merchandise for some of the others. But this is a shot looking down into Steinsville, which is where at the moment, we still have two of our rest stops. Again, this is another. Um, so as far as volunteering, you had asked about that earlier, Connie. We
Yeah.
always have a need for volunteers. And our basic statement is if you can get about 6 hours of volunteering in with us over the weekend, you get to ride free. If you want to volunteer Saturday because you can't ride both days, you'll get Sunday free. If you want to ride both days and can figure out how to say, hey, I'll do registration Saturday morning and I'll do setup Friday, as long as you get in several hours like that, we're happy for your help and you get free registration. And we've got opportunities to help with parking, monitor camping, put out food at the rest stops. As I mentioned here, registration, set up, tear down, everything you can imagine the stuff we'll need a little help with. This is all volunteers that do this. So those of you who do volunteer, you're part of what makes the Hilly a success. That's one of those broken records I have, is that it's all those people who help, the directors who put it together and the volunteers who make it successful. Now you'll notice here, this is the bicycle doctor, their name's off the top, but they are typically there each year. And we try and get a number of vendors there. COVID and that whole issue has reduced the number of vendors that are down there, but we're trying to bring that back, get more people back down there. So we expect several vendors there again this year. So we would love to have you come down there. We're not sure how much we're changing up this year as people come up with new ideas. We try and implement them where we can. So,
Great. Well, I have, as Mark probably knows, I've gone to the Hilly 100 virtually every year since 1988. So long time Hilly 100 person.
Can I say that I've got you by 3 years? I think my first one was in '85.
Yeah. So
So
it's a great ride. It's a ride where you want to take your time, and my favorite part of the ride is actually through Morgan Monroe State Forest. And this past year, the weather was absolutely gorgeous and the trees were perfect. And my favorite photo that I've taken all year, and I took like 10,000 photos this year, was of the trees in Morgan Monroe State Forest. It was just
yeah.
gorgeous.
Now, depending, we may have a surprise musician out there at the top of the hill coming up into Morgan Monroe to help provide a little extra energy for people as they get to the top there. So we
Yeah.
will have someone there again this year.
Yeah, so there was somebody there. It was pretty unique.
Mhm.
And I actually we climbed the hill and I said, I need to get a picture of this. So we stopped and I walked back and took pictures. So
Nice.
Yeah, I would also mention that you mentioned Morgan Monroe. That is a set of roads that have been recently paved. And there are other roads. We work with the Morgan Monroe Highway Department to find out what's paved and what's going to be paved to try and arrange, see what routes are best. And we can't promise perfect roads, but we can promise we will work with them to improve the roads, and they work with us to patch things and improve that so that everybody has a little bit better experience there. And again, there are definitely going to be new pavement out there again this year.
awesome. All right. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Mark, before we go on to the night ride?
Just that we would love to see you. As you had said, the Hilly one of the reasons I have kept coming back year after year is the chance to come back and meet friends, ride through the beautiful turning leaves each fall, uh, the cider in the mornings. There's something else. First stop each day, we will have donuts out there for you to get the day going. So, but we would love to see you in any manner there, and enjoy the roads in beautiful central Indiana. And thank you for the opportunity, Connie.
Oh, you're welcome. So I will be putting in the description of this recording, I'll be putting the links to the Hilly 100 website and CIBA's website and the Night Ride website. The dates of the Hilly are the first weekend in
October
October.
6th, 7th, and 8th.
Yeah. Okay. And
Regis-
yeah.
yep. Registration on Friday evening the 6th and riding on the 7th and 8th. And I would also mention, I said 50 miles. We typically have a 30-mile route each day as well, 30 to 35, so that if you're not sure about, hey, I can't do 50, but maybe I can do 30 or 35, we hope to have you covered.
Great. And then I will go ahead and turn this over to Renee to talk about the night ride.
Yay.
Yay. I'm so excited about the night ride this year. We turned 30, so it'll be our 30th annual night ride, July 8th, starting at 11 o'clock p.m. and 20, maybe a little over 20 miles, with a very nice scenic route through Indy. And I'm super excited for all the things that we will implement this year. So get ready.
So besides it starting at 11 o'clock at night, what makes the night ride unique? What are some of the things?
Some of the things that make it unique is, of course, the time, and the streets will be blocked off by police officers the entire time. We usually have, well, last year we had a very unique rest stop at 16 Tech and provided PB&J. So we'll do that again. And then at the end, just a party. So it's just unique in that aspect of everything, is that you just get to have a nice night party and ride at the same time. Family come, all ages, all abilities, all types of bikes, and so it's just a fun evening, and I am excited to direct that this year as well. So.
And I will say she did an excellent job last year bringing the night ride back again. So
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Renea.
It was my pleasure.
Now, isn't you that you did mention the stop in the middle, so you don't have to ride the full mileage all at once, and you get
Yes.
to stop and listen and see what Indianapolis looks like at night. It's a little different view.
Yes. We have some nice stops for this year. I think we stopped at the Velodrome. We always make our way to the Velodrome and Garfield Park, went past Lucas Oil, and I think that was about it. I mean, as far as, just how far we travel north and then how far we traveled south. So just a nice ride. Very nice.
And you have officers out there to help keep the route safe in the evening at night?
Yes. So we have police officers that will be there to make sure that everyone's safe from beginning to end. And so they lead the ride. So in the beginning, when we take off, they make sure that the route is led by them to clear the road. So you will be safe out there. We also have volunteers that come around and make sure that if you have any breakdown, we take you back to the starting point and just make sure everybody is safe out there. So that's our number one goal, is to make sure everyone is safe because of the time and because we care as well. And so don't feel like that you're out there by yourself.
Yeah, so what volunteer opportunities, you mentioned volunteers, what opportunities are there for people to volunteer at the night ride?
Registration, course marshals, rest stop, and at the end for the party. So those are the volunteer opportunities. Oh, we also have, before the ride, we have a dinner ride that's on the cultural trail, and we usually leave from the city market and travel. Well, last year we went to 16 Tech and ate there because they have a variety of different restaurants that are in that location that can handle the amount of riders that are on the dinner ride. So that's a nice added bonus to participating in the night ride.
Great. Um, let's see. Did you have any changes this year, or if people have done the night ride before, is there anything that they will see differently this year?
So last year we didn't have a party at the end, which we usually do. So we're bringing that back. We just wanted to make sure that, because it was virtual the previous year, we wanted to just have a ride for people to just get back into the swing of the night ride. So we will be bringing that back. So that is an added bonus from last year. Also, let's see. Oh, you'll get a t-shirt. It's always nice to have a nice t-shirt, and there'll be some other apparel that we will offer that that celebrates it being the 30th annual night ride. So be on the lookout for that link. We haven't secured what items that we want. I'm meeting with the committee this month, and so once we have that all selected, that will be on the website, and then it will be available this month for when registration opens. So registration should open this month.
Awesome. Let me see if there's any other questions.
There's usually there was almost 1,500 riders. So we've had, I think over the years, as many as 3,500. So we had a little over almost 1,500 last year. So hopefully we'll get that 3,500 again this year. So
Great.
Excited to see where we land on that.
Yeah. I remember helping volunteer one year where some of the more experienced riders, as course marshals, we rode out ahead of everyone, set up at the corners where we were going to be a course marshal, and then you got to watch everyone come by, and you got to see such a wide variety of people riding the event. So that's always fun to see
Yeah.
who comes out, and then following up once they've all come through.
Yeah, they will have a DJ, and which is fun to see people dancing beforehand and before they leave. We're bringing back a Light Up Your Bike contest, so you could win a bike, and so we're looking to secure those items. There is sponsorship opportunities. I don't want to miss that. So if you want to be a sponsor, go to the website, nightride.org, and look up that sponsorship information and see where you fall and what opportunities are in each level of sponsorship. There are some perks of being a sponsor, and one is having your logo on the back of the 30th annual Night Ride t-shirt. So that's pretty special to be on the back of the t-shirt.
Awesome. I don't think I have any additional questions. I've been involved with the Night Ride since its inception back in 1994, I think, in one way or another.
Yeah.
I actually was in your position in '99 as the Night Ride director, so I kind of have all aspects, and with my role at Bicycle Garage Indy, I've been involved with our involvement with the event over the years. So it's been, I've seen it from all sorts of different sides. I've only ridden it once.
Well, hopefully you can ride this year.
Yeah, one of these days I might actually try and ride it, but that's, it's a little late for me, but it takes me about 2 weeks to recover from being at the Night Ride, even just nights.
Right.
So we'll see.
Right.
But
Well, yeah, but shout out to my wonderful committee. I can't do it without them. So I want to make sure I always recognize them because they take their role and they help bring everything to life. So shout out to them, CIBA, for coming alongside of the Night Ride and making sure it happens. So it can't happen without CIBA and the committee. So
great.
Thank you.
And thanks to Dan Shields all those years ago for deciding this was a good thing to do.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, actually, it started with Warren Smock and Bob LeClaire.
Okay.
And then I think I was the next Night Ride chair, and then Dan took it over for many, many years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only did it for 1 year.
You had enough after 1 year?
I had too many hats on that year. And I had to take some of them off, and I found Dan Shields, and he took it and ran with it, which was great.
Well, hopefully BGI will come alongside. I know you guys moved from the city market, so looking to see how that partnership will happen this year.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about that.
Perfect.
I'm sure we'll be involved in some way, but we'll be working on that. So thank you very much, both of you, for joining me, and hopefully, I'll put links to CIBA and the Night Ride and the Hilly so people can find out more on the websites, and hopefully get people excited about joining CIBA and attending these great events.
Yes. Thank you very much, Connie.
Thank you, Connie.
Take care.
All right.